The purpose of today's lesson is comparing proportional relationships. And that's comparing and analyzing quantities to make useful decisions. Like we will use comparing proportional relationships with data from tests when we get those results. Scientists are going to use them. Anybody in the real world will be using this. All right, let's take a look. Emma is putting together an order for sugar, flour, and salt for her restaurant pantry. The graph below shows the cost Y to buy X pounds of sugar and flour. One line shows the cost of buying X pounds of flour, and the other line shows the cost of buying X pounds of sugar. Okay, so this is our Y, and this is our cost, and here's our pounds. We have sugar and flour. All right. From the graph, which ingredient costs more to buy per pound? Justify your answer. All right, which one of these two? Which one goes up the fastest is what I would look for. So which is the steepest? Steepest is going to give a higher cost. The steeper line gives a higher cost because it goes up the fastest. So as the cost, the number of pounds is going over, it's going up faster. So that would definitely have to be the sugar. And why? Well, because it's the steepest line, and it has also a higher unit rate. So the cost per pound is going to be greater than the sugar. Okay, the next question is, the cost to buy salt by the pound is less than sugar and flour. Draw a line, a possible line, that could represent the cost to buy X pounds of salt. Okay, so we're going to just use red. We have to draw a line in here. Where do you think we should draw it? Above, in the middle, or below? Well, we want less than sugar and flour. Then it would definitely have to be anywhere in here. This would have to be our salt, because it has to be less than flour and sugar. Okay? Let's look at this next problem. We got Don and Betsy are making super smoothies to re-energize them after a long workout. Betsy follows the recipe, which calls for 2 cups of strawberries for every 3 bananas. Don wants twice as much as Betsy, so he makes a smoothie with 4 cups of strawberries and 5 bananas. All right. So it looks like Betsy is 2 to 3, or 3 to 2, 3 bananas for every 2 strawberries. And Don is 5 to 4. All right. Don tastes his smoothie and says, "This tastes too tart. There are too many strawberries." Oh, explain why Don's smoothie is too tart. Well, what do you think? Well, let's just think about this and let's compare. Betsy, she has 3 bananas to every 2 strawberries. And then Don decides to use 5 bananas to every 2 strawberries. So this is bananas and this is strawberries. Bananas and strawberries. Well, that's supposed to be a 4. My bad. There's a 4 there. Okay. Well, here's what happened. Don doubled the strawberries, but what about the bananas? Did he double that? Okay. Well, the reason it's too tart is because he added too many strawberries compared to the number of bananas that he's supposed to add. So he did not add, Don did not add enough bananas, because he has to multiply both strawberries and bananas by the same thing. Find and describe the unit rate for Betsy's smoothie. Well, like we said, she did 3 bananas to 2 strawberries, so that's 1.5. So Betsy's unit rate is 1.5 bananas to strawberries. So this is Betsy's unit rate. Remember, we always have to have it over 1. So for every 1 cup of strawberries, she should add 1.5 bananas. That's the ratio. Come on, Don. Head in the game here. Making smoothies. Okay. Find and describe the unit rate for Don's smoothie. Well, he did 5 bananas. 5 bananas to 4, which simplifies to be 1.25. So his unit rate is 1.25 bananas for every 1 cup of strawberries. So 1.25 bananas per 1 cup of strawberries. Write an equation that represents or that relates the number of strawberries X to the number of bananas Y for Betsy's smoothie. So what was our multiplier for Betsy? Well, the multiplier, or the proportional constant, was 1.5, the unit rate. You can think of it any way you want. So y equals 1.5x. And then how about Don? Well, what was Don's unit rate? His is 1.25. So that would be his equation. Okay? Use your equations to make tables to graph. Whoa, that's fast. Use your equations to make tables to graph both of these lines on the same grid. Be sure to label which line belongs to which person. Okay, so we need tables, and then we're going to graph both lines. Alright. I'm going to pause it so I can draw my tables. Okay, you do the same. Okay, this is what I came up with my tables. I have strawberries and I have cups in parentheses, or a C to represent this is the number of cups. Bananas is how many bananas. So for Betsy, her multiplier was 1.5. So each time I was thinking, oh, I just multiplied times 1.5. Or the unit rate. That's another way to think of it. So each time I multiplied by 1.5. But Don, of course, his is 1.25. So each time we multiply by 1.25. Okay, go ahead and graph these. So this is going to be your strawberries down here, the X, and that's in cups. And over here is your bananas. And that is, go ahead and label it. Let's make this like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Start here. I'm going to have you graph the line. So come in tomorrow with this all graphed, and then I would like you to finish number 9. So you have to do 8, the graph, and number 9. Alright, this concludes our lesson on comparing proportional relationships.